I'm going to teach you about photosynthesis because I have another test tomorrow. Milky didn't study all weekend, so now I'm going to make another video and I'm going to teach you guys about it, and then I'm going to replay it over and over night to go to sleep. Okay, are you ready? Okay guys, what does ATP stand for? It stands for adenine triphosphate. I knew that one. ADP stands for adenine triphosphate. Oh, adenine diphosphate. What are the three things about ATP? It's like, it's not, I don't know. Enzyme ATPase, bond breaking between the second and third phosphate group, energy is released. ADP, three things. Enzyme ATP synthase, bonds form between the second and third phosphate group, energy is stored. ADP to ATP process name, dehydration synthesis. ATP to ADP process name, hydrolysis. What is an autotroph? An autotroph is a self-feeder, and a heterotroph is a different feeder. 5-carbon sugar is ribose. The nitrogen base is adenine. Oh, and there's an ad on my screen. 15 seconds. Shiver me timbers. ATP phosphate group 3. Okay. ADP phosphate group 2. What are the features of a chromoplast? Grana, stroma, and the thylakoid. What is grana? It's the little pancake thingies of the thylakoid. What are the important parts of the stroma? Oh, she has this label thing's weird. So you have to do the Calvin cycle. And so it's the light independent reaction or the dark reaction. Then the important parts of the thylakoid is that's where the light dependent reaction occurs. What are all the reactants of the light dependent reaction? Reactants of the light dependent. So that was the ones in the thylakoid: ADP, NADP+, 12H2O, and light energy. What is the product of ADP in the light dependent reaction? ATP. ADP comes from, and ATP goes to Calvin cycle. NADP plus turns into NADPH, and they both come from the Calvin cycle as well, and I have an ad on my screen. This is getting me sick. I'm getting sick of this. I bet I was on my keep. Lovely. Okay. 12H2O turns into 6O2. Is that right? Yay. Okay. Where does it go to? Where does it come from? The atmosphere. Where does that energy come from? Atmosphere. All reactants for the Calvin cycle, what's going to be the opposite? ATP. Right? NADPH. 6CO2. Oh yeah. Product of ATP, ADP. They come from the light dependent reaction, LDR. Product of 6CO2, C6H12O6, which is glucose. And I have an ad on my screen. Why did I do that? 6CO2 comes from the atmosphere. The glucose goes to the cell for food for chemical energy. Oh yeah. Product of NADPH is going to be NADP+. It goes to and comes from the light dependent reaction. LEO meaning loss of electrons, which is oxidation. GR, gain of electrons, which is something, reductions. Carbon fixation definition is adding carbon. G3P equals pGal plus another one equals glucose. Okay, what is the relationship between the light-dependent reaction and the Calvin cycle? The relationship between the light-dependent reaction and the Calvin cycle is the products of the light-dependent reaction, ATP and NADPH, become the reactants of the Calvin cycle. The products of the Calvin cycle, ADP and NADP+, become the reactants of the light-dependent reaction. What occurs in the ATP synthase? Oh, an ad. That's what occurs. kidding. What did I say? What occurs in the ATP synthase? The changing of ATP to ADP. No, ADP to ATP. ATP is used in the Calvin cycle, and it provides energy to convert CO2 into glucose or chemical energy. True or false? Hydrogen ions power ATP synthase. True. True or false? Thylakoid space is very acidic. True. ATP stores or provides energy? ATP stores. Oh, no. ATP provides. ADP stores. How can I remember that? ATP provides. Okay, ATP to provide. ADP stores. It's just the opposite. Chlorophyll A has the blue-green pigment, and it's primary. Chlorophyll B is the yellow-green, which is an accessory pigment. Carotenes are also an accessory pigment, which is red-yellow, yellow-orange. And there's an ad. There's another ad. Come on, Quizlet. Okay, lutein is an accessory pigment, and it's gray. Xanthophylls are red. Nope, they're yellow. Anthocyanin is red. What factors affect photosynthesis? Amount of light, amount of water, temperature, amount of carbon dioxide. Okay, I'm locked. Good luck on your tests.